welcome to another River States Conference Digital Media Day Baseball Edition here from Midway University. I am Princeburg, Minnesota Clerk Treasurer Sarah Van Dyken, and I am joined today by Midway baseball coach Luther Bramblett. Luther, you send me probably dozens of texts throughout the year saying, I cannot wait for Digital Media Day, and the day has arrived. Please share your enthusiasm with the folks.
Yeah.
Well, we have a new season set to approach here, about a couple weeks away from the time of this recording. How are our preparations going thus far?
Well, for the most part, everybody made it back to campus, and we've been stuck inside of a gym, hitting and throwing and doing all those type of things, not on a field. So hopefully the weather will cooperate with us soon, and we can get out there and get some ground balls and fly balls. But so far, practice is going well. I've been pleased with where we're at on the mound, and then the way our guys are. The guys that need to be anyway are swinging the bat, during our live at bats. So far, so good.
And how difficult does the preparation process get when your field is buried under layers of both snow and ice?
It is what it is. And you control what you can control, and we can't control the weather. We can just control what kind of attitude we have and what kind of approach we take when we get inside. And, the good thing about this year's group and this year's team is that we are old, we are experienced. Our guys understand that there's going to be adversity, and so they've responded well and are doing what we need to do to get prepared, the best way we can. So.
And okay, so let's not go a little positional breakdown. Offensively, I maybe look at the roster, but just who are some maybe returning or new bats that you're excited about this?
Well, it's probably easier to talk about who we lost because we've got so many guys returning. We lost Nick Eastham off last year's team, who led us in home runs. We had 5 season-ending injuries, I think, last year. One of those guys could be up here to talk about his recovery and how he's bouncing back. But so we return a lot of guys. We've obviously recruited several guys to make us deeper and more competitive. And for the first time in the 9 years that we've been a program, we have real quality depth. The guys that we lost last year to injury are back, and they're close to 100%, if not 100%. A couple of them are working their way back to getting to 100%, but are close. So we return a lot of guys. We return both catchers. We return both guys at first base. We return second baseman. We return a shortstop. We return 2 guys that we lost to injury in the middle of the infield. We return our third baseman. We return 2 of our outfielders, and we have brought 2 outfielders in. We'll return basically our entire weekend rotation. We did lose one of our arms from last year, Owen Clark. He decided to transfer, test different waters, but we feel that we've replaced him with some pretty quality arms and basically have our entire bullpen back. So we have a lot of depth. We have a lot of experience. We have several guys that were on the 2023 River State champion team back. So we're excited and looking forward to getting going.
And you mentioned that the winning the conference 2 years ago. Last year, very much an up and down campaign, like some wild swings. So I guess how confident are you that you guys can maybe swing back towards where you were 2 years ago and find that consistency that might have been missing a little bit last season?
Well, any time you deal with adversity that we dealt with last year, that being the season-ending injuries, coaching staff turnovers, things like that during the season. There were definitely a lot of peaks and valleys, you could say. But with all those guys back healthy, and then with what we've added to the mix, I'm confident. And I think our guys are pretty confident that this could be a special year. Our expectation is to win the conference. Our expectation is to go to an opening round. Our expectation is to compete for an opening round championship. And that's what we expect to do this year with this roster, because we've got a lot of, like I've said, we've got a lot of experience returning. So ultimately, they have to play up to their potential and their capabilities. If they do that, I think we could be in for a fun ride. But you never know. There's always bumps in the road. Hopefully, there's no injuries like we had last year and stuff like that. But if everybody competes to what they're capable of, I think it could be a fun year, and we could be and compete with anybody on our schedule.
Right, and we'll do for the coach portion Luther Bramblett 5, as he's affectionately known throughout campus. But we will be back with the players right now with Dunson Morain, Grant Hotchkiss here for the player portion of River State's Conference Media Day. Fellas, how are we feeling on this brisk January afternoon?
Cold.
Yeah, ready to get to Georgia.
Well, yeah, well, that's a good thing. Yeah, so Coach kind of talked about this initially, but just how difficult has it been for you guys to deal with just constantly having to be indoors as you try to gear up for the start of the season?
Well, we every year it's always indoors. Honestly, till we get to Georgia. So if you're a returner, you're prepared for it. New guys, it might be a little bit different, but we get our swings in, and once you get to Georgia, baseball looks a lot bigger than it does in that gym. So sometimes it's helpful.
Sure.
Definitely a lot of adversity, but we've been grounding. We have a good group this year, so we've been definitely getting through it. So that's good.
Okay, and as teased in the first portion, we have one of the players who lost a good chunk of last season to injury. So just on the personal level, how difficult was it to have to be on the sidelines, and just how confident are you that you can get back to form?
Yeah, I've been sidelined before with the same injury, so the preparation of having another season-ending injury is you never expect it. But first couple weeks it's hard, but then you learn you got to be a great teammate for your team. But just been in therapy, trying to get back as healthy as possible. But I feel good, ready to roll.
And just going to build because obviously last year, that was the injuries were part of it. There's the inconsistency. So are you guys seeing early on maybe some little things like attention to detail that you think might serve you better to be a more consistent team than you were a season ago?
Most definitely, yeah. We're definitely paying attention more to the details. Definitely team chemistry is way better than what it was last year. We have, like I said, great group, great set of guys, so it looks great this year.
I guess just what are some of the things that you guys have maybe done to improve that chemistry?
Definitely hanging out more off the field. I'm an introvert, so I've definitely not been hanging out as much as I should.
Okay.
But this year, definitely hanging out with Grant a lot more too. And he's a great guy, so we're doing good on that.
Okay, and you referenced the Georgia trip that will involve a couple games against a team like Georgia Gwinnett, who is like a perennial national power that you guys have seen quite a bit the last few years. So just how beneficial is it to play opponents like that as you try to get yourself into River State's conference play?
Yeah, our goal is win conference, win a regional, get to Lewiston. So in order to do that, you got to beat teams like Georgia Gwinnett. So playing them early, it prepares us for later on down the road in May. And 2 years ago we weren't as prepared as we I guess should have been, but half of us have been there now. So if we can get back to a regional, hopefully we'll be more prepared to beat a team like that. So.
Most definitely agree with it. Well, if you want to be the best, you got to compete with the best or beat the best. Optimally, we would like to beat the best, but competing is the goal, and we're definitely going to do that this year.
Is anybody bold enough to guarantee beating the best? I kind of your coach is watching offline, but don't worry about that. If you have anything bold, that really pops on these videos.
Yeah, I'll put us up against anybody.
Most definitely.
I have confidence in every player on the team, so. We'll be ready.
So tremble in your boots, future Midway opponents, or just be prepared for a spirited effort. One and the same. We're just ready to get out on that field and not deal with all this wintry, blustery crap. Well, thank you, fellas, for joining us for this player portion of River State's Conference Baseball Digital Media Day. Give a friendly wave to the people. We will see you next time.